Hi, welcome to Travel Tales with Judith. I'm Judith, and I share stories and experiences from a lifetime of traveling. This is episode 24. A number of years ago, I was in Cochabamba, Bolivia. I had, quote unquote, escaped to Cochabamba from La Paz because it's at a lower altitude, and I had a really bad cold. And I thought if I got in a lower altitude, maybe I could breathe a little bit better. There'd be a little bit more oxygen. And I'd heard Cochabamba was an interesting city. So my friend Carol and I took a plane and went from La Paz to Cochabamba. We found a hotel in the middle of the city. And without thinking too much about what kind of hotel or anything, I mean, it was a perfectly nice looking hotel. We were put on, I think it was the fifth floor of the hotel. So that was fine. And the first night there, we'd gone out and we'd had something to eat, and we'd come back and we'd get ready for bed. And we were tired. We'd traveled a bit. We'd walked around the city a bit when we got there. And so we went to bed. At about 3:15 in the morning, we were both awakened rather rudely by an earthquake. Now, earthquakes don't last a long period of time usually, but this earthquake seemed to last quite a while. I could probably look it up and tell you how many seconds it was, but it was quite a while. And during the period of the earthquake, a whole bunch of thoughts were occurring to me. First of all, Carol jumped out of bed and went to the window and looked out and said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "the homeless people out here are all running. They're all running." So I, however, did not jump out of bed. I'm lying in bed, looking up at the ceiling, thinking, this hotel has several more stories above me. And I don't know what kind of building structure this is. Were they thinking about earthquakes? Is the whole building going to just collapse like a pancake on top of me? Um, it was really, really scary. I was just horrified. So the earthquake stopped, and we were now obviously quite awake and shaken up and everything. And nothing else seemed to be happening. So after we calmed down, we went back to sleep. Well, in the morning, we heard that it was about a 5.1, I think, earthquake, and we were on the epicenter. We were right on that, which is why we felt it so strongly. And they were talking about that there wasn't much damage around the city. There was some, but it wasn't too bad. That night, the night after the earthquake, we had tickets to go see, it was like traditional Bolivian music with dancing in a theater very close to our hotel. And we went to that, and it was really fun. I mean, we enjoyed it very much. And we're glad that, we'd taken the time to do that. The next day in the paper, it talked how they closed that theater because they found cracks in the ceilings from the earthquake, and that now that theater wasn't safe anymore. So we kind of escaped 2 nights in a row, once from the earthquake itself, once from the repercussions from the earthquake. Um, and we felt, like we had escaped a couple bullets there. On the other hand, I will recommend Cochabamba as a nice, quiet, pleasant city. Um, it's got hills, and yeah, I mean, it was just fine. And I think maybe the breathing there was easier. But if you see one of my earlier videos, I can't remember which one it was, it's about Bolivia. It is in Cochabamba where I ended up in the hospital with a respiratory infection. So I guess it didn't help me all that much. Anyway, things that are least expected can happen, and that they're okay. It's okay most of the time. It's okay.